All right, 1 minute, 1 minute. Cosette in the house, tuning in from a few offices that way. I love it. Yvette, good to see you. Junior, welcome, welcome. I pay you to be here. Woo! Glad you made it. For everybody that doesn't know, Junior is days away from having his first kid. So he's on a daddy duty, well, pre-daddy duty, I guess, right? So it could be any minute now.
Maybe like right now.
Yeah, he could like pop off the call. Cindy, what up? It's cracking. All right. So Winter's in the house. Chris.
What's up? What's up?
How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good, good. For everybody doesn't know, Chris is Corona to Beverly Hills. So with our new expansion into the LA market, I'm not sure if you saw Slack, but I'll just jump right into it. So because I want to get it done, try to be 30, 40 minutes tops, because right now there's so much going on. Everybody's got a lot on their plates. I just want to do an update one. We're going to start next week and do some training. We're going to get back into the new agent stuff. We have Dina and we have a few new agents that are coming on board. And then we also have people that are kind of joining our team, and we're redialing that in. So I want to just kind of pretend like we're starting from square one, even though I know a lot of us aren't. So everybody has a really good foundation, because we're building a little bit faster than I thought, thanks to everybody's support and attention to pretty much every detail with our clients. So yesterday we announced in Slack that we basically were getting more leads. Okay. So our market areas right now are South Orange County, North Orange County, okay, West Riverside County. So that really covers from probably Murrieta up to that Rancho, even high deserty kind of area. And then anything from like Eastern Riverside back towards Orange County, okay? So the reason we did that is because mainly most of our teams were in that inland corridor of Orange County. So we wanted to start where it's as close as possible. And instead of having a ton of leads, we want really good leads, because we already have a ton of leads in our business, in our database. So basically what I want for you guys is to create like a pie chart, if you guys can see that, of good differences of your businesses. Okay. So you don't want to stop, I see people, door knocking, sending out postcards, hitting up referral databases, going in and trying to get some reviews, letting people know what the market's doing in terms of updates and inventory. Like, you want to have that, like, you should do that. It shouldn't be all of your time. There should be things that people might transact in the next 6 months. So that's not going to pay your bills today, right? If they're going to transact, you get lucky, the aunt, the uncle, the referral, they're coming in. You should just be aware of it. Okay. What I want you guys to do is basically have this much in lead flow. Okay. This might be more for some people, less for some people, but this basically represents new leads in the system. So that's anything 3 months or less, right? How do I do that? Like, or less, right? Something like that. And then if this one right here would be anything over 90 days. Okay. So just because it's over 90 days doesn't mean it's bad. Mike, how you been doing with those ones that were over 90 days?
I was able to pull them out. So
Yeah.
Plus you're reviving them.
Yep. So Mike actually sits right outside of my office. He's able to call older leads. One, determine if the seller still owns the property or they sold, right? If they sold, what were their plans, right? Did they end up moving somewhere else? Are they renting? And they're just like, wow, we're waiting for those rates to come down. You and everybody else in the United States, right? So you want to keep them on drips. You want to keep them on Real Scout. Now, right now, just because there's so many people and so many different starts of this, right, what we're doing, I'm doing like like eagle eye view, okay? Because we're trying to get through it in 30 minutes. So with things like Real Scout, with things like your market areas and what we're doing, I want to give you guys the plan, because a lot of us are going, oh, that lead in escrow in what, 72 hours?
Yeah.
Right?
Even less.
Even less. How many? Okay. How many hours? 48, 50, 60? Come on. I know you know.
No.
No, you know.
Going on the, we showed the day before, oh, I guess maybe it's probably 72 hours. Put it in at 6 o'clock on day before yesterday. We're in escrow at 8 o'clock this morning.
8 o'clock this morning. And you showed it when? 2 days ago? Yeah, it's Thursday at noon.
Yeah.
So you showed
I
it
showed
Tuesday.
it Tuesday.
Tuesday afternoon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she has a really cool story. If you guys ever want to hear about it, hit her up, because her win is going to be your win next week when you answer that lead line. So she and Susan on their group went above and beyond. I mean, it's a really cool story. Hit her up. She'll tell you what happened. The reason why it's so crazy is because that new lead came in. She's 1.1, right? 1.1 all cash.
All cash.
10-day close?
10 days.
10-day close. All cash. 72 hours. This is what you're working with. Now, this wasn't a gimme. You worked your ass off, right? Yeah. So she'll tell you the story later because I want to get into it. But it's like, that's why I like being on the notes with you guys, because I got the play-by-play between text and follow boss updates and talking with her. Like, we were able to go lockstep, and I saw just her make it happen. Susan make it happen. They did it really good. But that's the conversion. You got to want it. You got to fight for it. But that's the power of these lead lines. Okay. That lead line just got way more powerful. So we're on average 40 to 60 leads per market per month. Okay. So I don't care if half of them suck, right? They're between $250 and $1,000 a lead. Okay. In our main databases. Okay. And they're not just from one thing. Okay. And so when you get these, let's say you get 20 to 30 per market that are going to transact at different various points in time, you want to be like, hey, I'm ready to go. We're ready to make it happen. Kim said, how high, right? I mean, that's how it worked. But then that's not going to be every deal, right? It's just, that's not realistic. So all these other deals, like what Mike's pointing out, I hear him on the phone. If you guys are, what do I say? How do I operate? What do I'm doing in today's market? Go sit anywhere near Bijan, Christy, Mike, anybody in the office. You're just going to hear things left and right about things that they're doing that's working every single day. It's on the job, free training for you guys. Okay. We're going to go into a little bit of that today in terms of tactics. But the takeaway is you don't want, like this last market taught us, you don't want all your eggs in one basket. Okay. So just like we don't want all our eggs in one market, we want different various markets. And the reason we transitioned instead of Palm Springs and La Quinta and some of the desert markets is that market's going to be hot in about 3 months, right? So unless we want to nurture it during, the 120-degree weather out in Palm Springs, it's not really going to start transacting until October. Back October to the winter time is the Palm Springs market. So that's our next market that we're going to go after. Okay. So understand, every new market we get is a significant lead cost. The first person that came to my office after I pulled the trigger was Lily. She said, what did you do? Right. Because she knows I just committed to something really big. Right. And so, but part of it is scared money doesn't make money. Right. So in the end of the day, this goes for you guys. This goes for me. You sit there and ask every single thing of why you can or can't do it. You're going to have analysis paralysis. You're just going to frustrate any and everybody around you. If you have a dynamic approach and you say, hey, look, leads in your system, conversion tactics, market areas, when you do your best practices, it's 1% better every day. Okay. 1% better every day. You're going to get anxiety. You're going to get negativity. You're going to get all these things because I had a client this morning. Okay. She's closing today, right? $800,000 house, LA by Santa Clarita. And I don't know how I did that. I did it the same way kind of you did, that I had people helping me out there. But what happened was she's getting time to close. Like, she's getting time to wire her money in, right? So her rate, she had income gaps and employment gaps. So she had like a 7.5, like she had to go basically alt product, like just a better than hard money. Okay. We found her a house. It was actually 750. The house is 800 plus right now. Like, she could kick us out of escrow like you're in Susan's right now. in Redlands, they could kick us out of escrow and sell it for 25, 35, 45 grand higher than what we bought it for. Right. So what happened was she goes, oh man, my home insurance, I'm paying up front. They didn't tell me that my taxes were included. Oh, I didn't know that I'd pay off some credit cards in order to make my DTI work. And so I had to walk her through. I'm like, well, if you're prepaying your home insurance, it's still going as a benefit. And if you're paying your credit cards off, guess what? Go run them back up. Right? Like, you know what I mean? Like they're paid off, right? And we did all these things for the property that actually got her there was a leak in the kitchen, caused damage, but now everything's replaced and they wanted to replace the kitchen anyway. So we're getting her credits to put the cabinets she wants, the countertops she wants, the flooring she wants, and we're doing all that today at the final walkthrough. First time in 20 years that's ever happened to me. But I'm like, hey, I don't know. It could be 5 grand, could be 2 grand, could be 10 grand. Like, I don't know. I'm just like, take the win, right? So I was stacking up a year to 2 years from now. You're going to be sitting on 850, 899 in that home value. You're putting a significant down. She's putting 150 grand down. So she's going to only owe 500, 600 on the house. And she's going to have $1 million house. And then we're going to parlay that in the next 2 to 3 years. But I want to be her agent for life, right? So I'm telling her right now, make sure the lender knows they owe you. So Neil's doing the loan. I'm like, I'm going to make him feel the hurt, right? Because when you call him back, you want a free refi. She's like, well, I only get it once. I was like, hell no. He's your lender. Get him again and again and again. If it goes down, get him. If it goes down, get him. If it doesn't, call me. I'll find someone else for you. Because in the end of the day, no one is going to be benefited by paying a higher interest rate. But what's going to turn around is that the home prices are going to skyrocket once rates go to 5%. So everybody right now is going, oh my God, it's so hard to sell at 7. Dude, it's going to be way harder at 5. You will have no inventory. It's going to be so hard to compete. So everything we're doing right now is to try to gobble up market share via any flow we can with leads in order to prepare ourselves if that were to happen. And if it doesn't, we're going to do it, turn a lot of units. Okay. So you got to change your mindset to make sure that your buyers right now in this market or your sellers are looking at the benefit of real estate and are overcoming their objections in whatever they have to do in this kind of a market when things are at a crazy premium. Okay. By the end of the conversation, super happy, ready to go, like just as happy as can be because she's now looking at the benefits, right? So conversion tactics. There are dozens. We're going to be going over them in the next 30 days. We're going to start doing our Tuesday agent masteries again at 10:30. We're going to record everything because we know everybody's busy and out in the field. We're also going to be doing the masterminds. They're going to be split events. Your masterminds are going to be a little bit more like this. Your agent masteries, we're probably going to dive into follow-up, dive into Real Scout, give people best practices. I'm going to touch on a few of them today. So follow-up boss best practices. Okay, so they are sunsetting follow-up boss 1 this month. That means a little piece of me has died. Okay.
I think you're the only one using
I'm
it.
the only one. I think they were like, I emailed them and I was like, no. And they're like, okay, you're the only one, right? So the good news, I have been in follow-up boss 2 for the last 2 weeks, and I'm forcing myself to use it. I've been in the drip campaigns. I can now see more visibility on what people are sending out. If you share your emails, that means people can see it. We have 3 new ISAs starting, okay? Those ISA rules are going to be directly given feedback from me and our team, okay? They're going to be doing value updates, check-ins. They're going to have like the same thing they had before, a $250 appointment fee. So if you want it, great. If not, someone else does, right? I'm going to pay all their salaries and overheads and all their other stuff and management and conversion metrics. But what we're going to talk about coming into the next thing is they're your assistants too. So I'm going to introduce their names and information probably next week after we get them. They're already trained up and onboarded, but I want to get them in the system a little bit and stacking up some wins for you guys. But what you can do is there's 2 that are in the system working daily. You could tag that ISA team if you want to hit. The great news about it is that they'll hit it up for you and you'll see the notes. And if they get anywhere, the appointment's coming back to you. Okay. So it's basically me, Casa, Su Casa, assistant stuff. Okay. So when we're doing the best practices at FUB, You can make follow-up as easy and simple or as complicated as you want. Okay. What I mean by that is there are 5-6 step follow-up processes. There's 338 step follow-up boss campaigns that run for a year. Okay. So I went in and started looking at them. We're going to dial them in. The ISA team, part of their management role is to create smart lists to start speccing our database out, where we can go through, like Dina, as an example, started. I moved her 200 leads in Anaheim. I can't determine where they all came from. Some were new, some were old. It's this, right? Some were rejected. Mike and I were trying to figure out how to clean that up so she doesn't even have to see it. Right now, we can't do it. Like, we just, with smart systems aren't set up yet. That will start changing. The database will be consistently, there's 200,000 people in it. You figure 100,000 are good, right? You figure 50,000 of that 100,000 are in somewhere in Southern California, moving and grooving, right? We would never be able to get through that. I mean, 200 to 400 leads at any given time. It's going to take you forever, not only to get through it and actually manage it, but make any sense of it. So the best practice in follow-up boss and drip campaigns, just familiarize yourself with them and know that they can run if you want them set. So some people I'm testing and I'm putting on aggressive seller, and you guys mainly handle buyers through Real Scout, right? Real Scout is by far the highest converting of any campaign. You're talking about properties, you're talking about highlights, you're seeing if they're engaging, right? Other than that, what we're going to do is we started a new channel for the lenders. You'll see it's active trusted rate resources. And what that's going to be is resources, rate sheets, program turn times, deal closings within 6 days, grants, anything they're doing that's of value that you could either tell them to do and start running for your clients, or you can actually tease your clients and run as well. Okay. So that kind of stuff, we're going to start running those trips. Now, one thing I wanted to bring up, and I'm gonna go down to this one right here, is the monthly market reports and heat maps. Okay, so I'm gonna be honest with you guys. This is all like, it's the same shit, but it's like our way now. So from last year to this year, now we control our own destiny. Okay. So what I didn't like about the monthly market meetings that we did is it was very like declarative. Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome to our meeting. The Riverside report is our buyers' showings are up, prices are up, inventory's down, right? So to me, I was like, cool, right? Not my style. What I want to do is Mike and I have been sending out on our own versions monthly market reports and heat maps. Okay. CAR gives you county specific, state, they give you the state, they give you, what else do you send out? You send out county?
Yeah, it gives you the different counties. So
Yeah.
we can pull out which counties and interested, and gives you all the specific information.
Yep. So you get all, so if anybody didn't hear that, you get all the specific information county wise. It's not nice little flow chart they give you. Plus, because like whatever your base is, or wherever you signed up in your MLS, I think they track, they give you your city or your area, right? And they're these nice infographics. Okay. I go onto Redfin and I steal Redfin's from their house. Redfin's has their address, their neighborhood, their city, their county, and I think one other thing. It gives you macro and micro, right? And so if you're, and I'm going to go into more trainings as we go into this again and we get our flow, but there's urban and lurban, okay? And so does anybody know what those stand for, by the way? If anybody does, you're getting a gift card. It's an acronym. Urban, and lurban. Okay, so urban is now. Okay, that's emotional reasons to buy now, logical reasons to buy now. Okay, these are the only two people you deal with. Okay, you have buyers or sellers in this industry, and you have emotional people, and you have logical people. Right. So we're gonna go in, I had some more tactics for you guys, but I burned through time quick. So what this basically means is you're going to like right now is not necessarily an emotional market. You know what I'm saying? Like you get stopped in your emotional tracks when you get your pre-approval from your lender, right? Because you're like, oh honey, this house is great. And then you get your payment and you're like, right? Like this is a logical market that you have to overcome to become emotional, right? Like right now, it's like you are getting in the door when it is very difficult. Okay, but what does Warren Buffett say? Fly when there's blood on the streets. He only buys in a market, he buys on value, and he'll only buy when others or the majority of the market says, don't buy, I'm scared. If everybody's in the FOMO market, which is what we rode over the last 3 years, he never buys. He sits back, reads his paper, and is like, good luck. Right? So y'all make a bunch of money when it's a FOMO market, but it's not the best time to buy. So all these people that are like, hey, I'm waiting for rates to go down, cool. You're going to pay like 15% more in the price of the house. And you'll have a lot of equity. You have a lot of like homes start changing hands. It's going to be great for you. It's going to be great for us. But right now, you will wish that it was a little bit slower of a market and your buyers wouldn't go like this. And you'll talk to them one day and they're in escrow the next. Remember the people where like you didn't have to have you fog a mirror and the house sells, right? That's all you had to do. Like you didn't have to put a sign up front. You did nothing. Like I don't even think my photos were back before I had offers half the time, right? It was nuts. Like I wanted to shut down all marketing because it was just an expense that had no return. There's nothing I could do. It's like a magazine ad, right? Like shit sold if you did anything by the time the magazine comes out. So what you're trying to do right now and why we're bringing this up is because the best responses have been from what in your follow boss?
Was the market report,
right?
Yeah.
By far, right?
Yeah, I sent out that, just a batch.
Yep.
And a bunch of replies came back.
Yep.
Oh, hey, thank you very much. Thanks. Oh.
So it wasn't postcards. It's not door knocking in 100-degree weather, right? Does anybody drive traffic wise? Has traffic been better or worse when it's 100 like 50 degrees outside?
No, it's better.
It's better, right? Because no one wants to be doing what we have to do. No one wants to be in the car doing what we have to do because it's miserable, right? So know right now that people are responding to those literally heat maps. And you have tons of resources. Okay. So you could pin Andrew at title to do the resources and things that we have. That's our next steps. But keep it simple. I have a training for you guys that I'm setting up next week. Really cool thing about preparing. I don't want any resistance at all when you guys cold call any of this database. You should have zero. Your ammunition, and you should have so much ammunition that you can't wait to help them with all the logical reasons to buy right now, because it's such a great market, because they're going to walk into instant equity if you're worth your weight at all in how you bring your offer to the table, right? But you got to do that. You got to make sure that you're playing that market the right way. But I mean, you're writing offers. That's unheard of. First offer, boom, accepted in escrow, right? It's like, what the hell? Like, dude, I have to show my clients all kinds of houses, right? And like my clients want all the houses that are listed at like $699 or like worth $900, right? And so that's like normally what you have to do. But if you are like, hey, I'm totally set, okay? Another one we haven't talked about at all is a deal of the week email, okay? You guys have amazing deals, right? A lot of them you've had yourselves, okay? You don't have to give price points. You don't have to give specifics. Have a deal of the week, right? UKIPA, right? NOD coming up. Don't even have to give an address. 4-bedroom, 3-bath, worth 800 plus, right? Hit me up, starting at 650, right? All you want is a response. All you want is something like social media, like your YouTube thumbnails or whatever it is. You're looking for a little clickbait, I got a text this morning from someone and they go, hey, it was my We Won't Be Beat one that got posted. And he's like, hey, it maybe comes across like you're being a little cheap. You can get them full price and charge it. I said, oh, that's a great comment. You should put that in the comments and then share it and be like, I can sell it for top dollar and I'm worth my weight, right? But the whole thing is that's what we want now when we're doing media for you guys, is we want a little controversy. We want a little like, what do you mean? Get the person that calls back and go, Mike, you're full of shit, right? Oh, awesome. How so? Right? Because if he's not, and he can get him in, you hear him on the phone, he's smooth as silk over here, right? He'll turn people that like literally like want to hang up on him. He'll keep them on for 30 minutes, set up a follow-up appointment for him, and get tons of value as a takeaway, right? So some of your most difficult clients are going to be some of your best clients that will refer you business, which your eye has always got to be on referrals, always, right? Like, hey, I know that you've had a difficult situation. If there's anybody else that you know that might have something that they just want a second opinion on, right? I'm here all the time. Not only will I do it for free for you, there's no cost, there's no obligation. You always want to make sure in this market, a dollar saved is a dollar earned. Like that's where everybody's at right now. Cut those extra expenses you don't need, right? And so use that as something to create them their own. And we're going to go through a 10-step process next Thursday on how to accomplish this. Okay. I'm just going to remind you guys what you already know. You know 80% of all of this already. It's the 20% that's changed a little bit that people kind of forget. And that's the only thing. And your clients do the same thing. So if you want to do the most you can, you have to know these things like the back of your hand. But what's awesome about me being in production with you guys, okay, and I'll jump back to some team contracts, is because now I'm in these markets with you all day, every day. I'm probably in Follow Boss 4 or 5 hours a day, right? I probably start work, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. I don't stop till 9 o'clock at night, right? Sometimes later. So what's cool is I'm so immersed in today's market that like now I'm like, cool, LA, here we come. Like I wouldn't have done that 6 months ago. No way, right? I would have been like, I don't know what the ROI would be like that, But now I'm really confident because now it's that Southern California market. I'm chasing high average price points and low days on market. You guys get it? I want fast turnover, but for that, you guys got to be ready because when those leads come down the pipe, they're going to go to the most aggressive people that are ready to jump in the car, that are ready. But I'm the same way you guys are. It's just my scale. I don't know how I get myself in these positions, but my scale is I have more out there, right? Like any investor, like any business owner, there's a lot on the line. So when you guys are doing it, and now we've been through the storms, we've been through the changes, we've been through the stuff like that. Now it's time to create massive pipelines. You guys right now, if you guys ever want me to show you, I'll show you a little bit because I don't want to like go into the agents that are actually closing the deals. But through Real System, I can show you what the average commissions are on these leads that are closing. You guys are making $15,000 to $30,000 commissions on the majority of these leads. And that's split, but that's just the beginning. Bijan alone had like $3 or $5 million leads that he barely lost. Barely. I mean, he had them signed, sealed, delivered. And at the last second, they got an offer on one that he was getting. On the last second, he had a buyer's funds wait. I mean, he's really close to popping a 6-figure commission. Okay. So a couple of those bad boys, you're going to see Bijan walk in with a little different swagger, right? Some Gucci's, some Louis V's on, right? Yeah. Coming up Tesla or some shit, right? And that's what I want for you guys. Like, I'm not here anymore to like be an admin guy that has compliance people and a bunch of waste of money. Like, I want to be on production. So that segues me straight into the team contracts. So the girls have been working really hard. We jumped the gun a little bit. All my OGs, people that are new, we've talked about dialing in our team contracts. Some of it I put my foot in the mouth in the beginning of this because I thought Real was going to step in and provide a lot of stuff that they don't really provide. They provide a platform that's nationwide. They provide ways to make more money if you want through stocks and things like that. And then they provide a shell in terms of responsibility. Thanks, Christy. I'm going to tell you about her inspection stuff because we haven't got there yet. So the team contracts, they're going to go back to what we've always done as a brokerage. Okay. I'm going to meet with you guys individually if I haven't already. And we're going to be dialing in as we grow. Okay. So we're going to be working on email signatures for you guys. Some of you might have got them already. We're going to be working on Linktree So you guys can go through and have professional links in your guys' bios that you can share with people. If you guys want your own stuff, you can do that as well. We're also going to be doing agent spotlights, and welcome to the team. Dean isn't one of the new ones. We got new people coming in, even people like Mike that have been here for a little bit. They haven't really seen us as sophisticated as we typically are. So we're going to be putting in a lot of things that put you guys front and center. So I'll give you an example about the agent highlights or the new spotlights that we haven't done. I want to know your guys' reviews. I want to have a client testimonial that you're proud of as a scroll. I want to have your guys' highlights and hobbies. Are you a dog lover? Right? I want that on your thing, so you guys can say like, hey, you know, this is your spotlight. If you have a specialties or a service area, I want that in there as well. I want it to be like humanistic. I want our brand to stand for something really cool, and you guys are a direct reflection on what that brand is today, right? So we're gonna be doing stuff. I know you guys are gonna be like, I don't really have time for that. I'm gonna hunt you down. We're gonna make it happen, right? So just know that kind of stuff's coming through. In what we're doing, it all makes sense. There's nothing that's set in stone at this point, and I'm confident that you guys, once you start stacking up those wins, you're going to see. I've never had a chance. It's been probably 5-6 years in the business that I've had a chance to put rocket fuel on your guys' actual production and closings, like to move your needle, right? It's just been like, hey guys, the brokerage does this, and good luck, right? There's 8 people you have to figure out to get a hold of to make this thing work. None of that's going to be happening anymore. It's going to be straight, you guys, us, proper expectations across the board. Chrissy, can you mute?
Oh, sorry.
All good, thanks. So cool, guys. So just know that like I'm back in. Appreciate all your guys' support. You know, it's workaholic time for me. So inspections and open houses, moving right through. We've had quite a few issues lately with inspections and open houses. So I just wanted to bring them back up. Okay. Inspections. In this market, your client is overcoming, and you guys too. I'm going to give you guys a little tidbit of, okay, let's go with this. Trail up the mountaintop. Okay. And then this is what you're going to want to put your little flag up on the top to see a little closer, right? Okay, so we're here when we start a transaction with our clients. Okay. And this is your goal. This is your mountaintop. Okay. By the way, when you go into the real meetings that they have all week, really good stuff. I put them on. This is one thing I'm taking from Sharon. Okay. So Sharon goes, be the Sherpa, not the mountaintop. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Okay. What's a Sherpa? And what are we talking about mountains for? So you're the Sherpa. You're the guide. Okay. You are there to guide them through this process that will be like climbing a mountain. Okay. And if you say like, hey, turn left, hey, turn right, hey, do this, and there's no proper expectation to head up that mountain, it's going to be a long journey, right? If you're able to say, hey, we're in our little safe little pre-qual tents, right? And we're going to go over expectations. Hey, we're going to take a journey right now. You're going to remember this journey. It's going to be a fun journey, but it's not going to be easy. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be scenic. You're going to learn a lot, but sometimes it's going to get cold. Sometimes it's going to be hot. Sometimes that sun's going to be bright, right? Sometimes you're going to be thirsty and you want to break. You can't. You got to close, right? You want to make sure they know their options and expectations. So the problem with this is that this is a multi-step process. You give them death by information because you're so smart. You know, I know you guys are smart, right? They won't remember it. You don't tell them, and you just give them that like, hey, you're going to do great, right? That won't probably resonate very well either. There's a middle ground that we're going to talk about, and we're going to continue to just bring up and remind you guys of the things that we've always done and you've always done in all the escrows that you've closed. You can think back in any of these steps, you've done them dozens of times, right? but in putting back in your mindset, because it's all about training your mindset right now. Your mindset's strong. You have abundant mindset, leads coming in, a lot of stuff to do, right? Is because I want to make sure you guys have a lot of, like, there's a lot of momentum we can build, but your client's not necessarily going to feel that. So your expectation is going to be, well, do I work really hard on this one? Do I not? Like, you're going to have options. Giving them proper expectations allows you to guide them appropriately through this journey, right? So knowing like, hey, you guys are taking this journey when a lot of people aren't taking this journey. They're in this fraternity that's really cool of people that are buying or selling right now, right? Because if you got to move and you're relocating to another state, or because you retired and lucky you bought your, home in Huntington Beach for $30,000 back in 1970, and it's worth 2.5 million now, right? How many people, cool, good for you. It's been paid off for 10 years, right? Bijan had a client, what he made 700 grand in 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah, 2.5 years. Bought a brand new build 2.5 years ago, and
Irvine, Portola Ranch, right?
Lake Forest.
Lake Forest.
Yeah.
So bought a brand new build, made $700,000. What more?
Yeah, 2.2. You make him almost 900.
900, almost 900. Bought the house 2.5 years ago and made almost $1 million. That's crazy. So like, he's calling Bijan and I because his house wasn't selling. We almost had it until a last second offer came in with his previous agent. It was all but signed. We had beat out all the other competition, right? Bijan got him. We prepped it, had everything ready, and it was a 3 million, 2.3, 2 point,
Yeah, 2.2.
2.2, 2.2, over 2 million. So he almost had that, but he guided them through it in just the last second, right? So when you're going through this process, understand the better you are, your clients are a reflection of you, whether you like it or not. Kids, reflection of me, you, whether we like it or not. They have their own personalities, they have their own choices, but at the end of the day, that's my kid, right? So it's like, it's somewhat of a reflection of how I raised that kid, right? So you do the best you can. Is it foolproof? No, someone could jump off the side of the mountain. You don't have an escrow anymore. They want to cancel. They're done, right? But if you've given them that expectations and you've delivered above and beyond, your conviction is going to get stronger and stronger and stronger. And what you're going to subconsciously start doing is finding more of these reasons to back up why you're successful. And if you don't do it, your subconscious is going to inadvertently give you more reasons on why you can't, right? So that's why it's so important right now that, yes, as trivial as some of these things are, together they start stacking up wins in a huge way, which means you can pay your bills. I mean, the thing about real estate is it's feast or famine, am I right? It's feast or famine. Either like, you're like, yeah, like I got 4, 5, 6. I mean, some of the top agents that I see and other people like us, they're closing double figures a month right now. And we're getting better leads than they are. And we have a smaller team than they do. And I have way more experience than they do. I've at least double, triple the experience they do. So I'm a little bit more patient and I'm a little bit more of a grinder because I know where we're headed. If you knew you could be rich again, if you knew you'd make hundreds of thousands, whatever your goal is this year, do you want to do it fast or do you want to do it slow? I want to get rich quick. I don't want to get rich slow, right? I don't want to stay broke, right? If I got to be broke for a little bit, I'll be broke for a little bit, but not very long. We got to figure this out, right? So you're going to subconsciously find more reasons to do that, in which case your conversion is going to start going up, because now when you get these leads, I want you to feel like you can use your personality and try new things. Try to put your focus on, which is what I love about right now, is my focus is back completely aligning with you guys and closing more deals. Okay. So we went about the time. Does anybody have any questions? Anybody have anything? I want to bring up one an inspection story, but before, I know you guys' time is, anybody have any questions? Anybody, comments? Anything? No. Okay. So last story, and then we'll close. So inspections and open houses. We had an open house. Christy was on one of her listings, and Bijan was doing it. They almost had it where it was a super busy open house. It's kind of a fixer, really good price point on a house. Has some issues with it though. And I think you go, well, yeah, like 50 people in,
East,
maybe more.
yeah, Riverside, Valley area.
Yeah. So can everybody hear Bijan okay?
You guys hear me?
Little thumbs up, anything in the chat? Oops, hold on. It should pick up. Okay, cool. Okay, so yeah, Bijan, go. Tell us what happened on the open house.
Yeah, so it was from 11 to 3:30. Christy and I got there, we met the owner, and there was already people, lined up, and a lot of people had agents. Most people did, so probably close to about 15 to 20 agents came through, and so the average party size is, they have at least 2 people with them. So you got 15, so a group of 3 times 15, that's at 45 right there. A few other people come without agents. So basically what had happened was the owner comes back at 2 o'clock, right before 3:30, and he's like, shut it down, shut it down, shut it down, shut it down. And we're like, what's going on? He's like, this is over, this is over. And like, what's over? And then he's like, somebody's using our credit cards right now. And what had happened was somebody went in the master closet. She had a lot of purses. They took the wallet and a purse that she had in there. So one thing to be mindful of is when you're going to do an open house, tell your client, you better not have anything in here that, you don't mind being stolen. And Christy, now what we're going to do on our next listing is try to bring people in one by one, have a co-agent there, maybe even 3 if it's a hot property. Like a hot property like that, have like 3 people there. But again, that's the first it's happened to me. First it's happened to Christy in 10 years doing this. So
Yeah, I've had clients where
yeah.
their cars were stolen. Wow. Like someone came in after the open house, had stolen the keys from one of the drawers and came back late at night when there was no one in the house and stole the car out of the garage. They like took a bunch of stuff from their house, and luckily, my client was he was a law enforcement, and he had the low jack in his car, and he went and tracked down the low jack, pulled them out of the car, and got his car back. It was like a crazy story. So what you got to do is just make sure you have expectations. You're putting valuables away, out of sight, out of mind, right? In the end of the day, you need to prepare for a public open house, right? We can do as much as we can, but like you've seen the crazy stuff on social media, people robbing Gucci stores, malls, smashing, grabbing jewelry stores. It's just weird stuff going on with some people in this kind of a market. And so if anybody was around for the REO days, the short sale days, the wild, wild west, dude, nothing was safe. Appliances weren't safe. AC units weren't safe. Like if it wasn't even nailed down, it wasn't safe, right? And so we remember these days, like they'd steal the sod out of the front lawn if they could, right? It was nuts, man. They'd still fit fixtures, like cabinets that you would never use again. Like they were custom to the house, right? But people did it, right? And so just knowing that when you're doing open houses, that you have proper expectations. I would have asked this particular seller, didn't have any Ring cameras. There was nothing, like I could come in with Blink cameras from Amazon. They're $100. I can set them everywhere. And all of a sudden, like if you don't steal my Blink camera, I'll get you on camera, right? I put them in all of our flips, right? And they sync right to your phone, right? So there's definitely ways you can secure it, but just don't put yourself in harm's way. Number one, you're having an open house, even showings. Like if someone's not there and watching them all the time, like you're selling your house, you should prepare it, right? So you shouldn't have valuables out. You should put them away. They should be in a safe. They should be with you on your person, right? It's like we're trying to sell your product. And so just make sure. In the end of the day, it's a bad look for everybody. It makes us look bad. The client gets all nervous. It looks like we never did it. If you look on any of my CMAs, on any of the stuff that I give my clients, it has preparation, it has showing instructions, it has when you go through showing time that they're licensed, they're vetted, there's no restrictions, right? And that it's their responsibility to the agent they're with as well to police their client, right? You can't do all of everybody's job. So that with those proper expectations, it's not foolproof, but we just got to know that at least you're having those conversations. Inspections, same things. We're seeing nitpicky things come up. We're seeing where, you know, in this market, the buyers are paying high prices. They're paying high rates. You know, everything out of their pocket is something that they don't necessarily are comfortable with in a market like this. And so inspections are turning into really big deals because sellers, once they know their appraisal came in higher, or they could sell it to another offer or whatever, guess what they're telling you? Kick rocks. They're like, hell no, I'm not doing anything, right? And if the things they're doing, like maybe that's health and safety, it's just brutal. So when you're going back on inspections, make sure that you're framing it out and you're solution based. So having a handyman, making sure that, you know, I had someone call out a flex line for the exhaust on a dryer, for a washer and dryer. Okay, do you guys have washers and dryers? Do you know what happens if you don't have a flex line for your dryer?
Any movement at all.
You can't move it. Yeah, all your lint shit's gonna shoot right out of your dryer because you can't move it. So I'm looking at it, and then that has actually turned it into a big deal. And then an extension cord for a microwave, like little things here and there. I had some big things come up, like roof and things like that. It's almost impossible to fully repair a roof right now when it's 100 degrees outside and it's not raining. You do the best you can, but it's not going to be foolproof. So my client's thing that I'm doing, we're doing roof tune-ups. I have people in place that I know do roofing and have options available. But then I'm like, hey, you call me back in December when it starts raining, cats and dogs, like a pool's falling on your house, right? Like it was over the last winter. And then we're going to get the roofer out to make sure it's dialed in. Like I'm your forever guy, remember? Right? Like I'm letting them know we're talking future. Because they're like, hey, I'm on a 2-year roof, sir. I'm like, why? The 2-year roof cert, they're going to charge you anyway. Everybody that I've ever had a roof cert, they go, oh, that's going to be $100 inspection fee. Oh, that one's not covered, right? They find a reason. A roofer's going to make money. Like anybody that's going out there as an inspection, you know, when you see their nice, beautiful trucks, they got payments. All their tools they got cost money. The gas, their time, right? Like they all have to make money. So just know that if it's not a handyman, you're going to be paying premium prices, right? So get those home warranties set up. You want to let people know that you have options and you're getting them in that mountaintop process, because a new statistic that came out for NAR is 60 to 70% of people right now are transacting with real estate agents that they had a previous relationship with. Doesn't mean they're a referral. It means they have a relationship with you. This is why the database is so important. Because you're saying, oh, I only want the new lead. Cool. I'm telling you, 60 to 70% of people that are transacting in this market had a relationship with your brokerage or you or your team, right? So make sure that you're saying, hey, like, we've gone back and forth and this is going to integrate both ways. So when we do the marketing for you guys, we're going to highlight you. We're going to put you guys towards Active Realty and get Active Realty a little bit more personal. And then you also want to put that towards me. The reason that 20 years and 80 hours a week and just fucking relentless who I am is that you can name drop me. And a lot of people at least know of who we are, who I am, because of the relationships that we've had and that we've sold. If you guys don't know, thousands of houses. We're currently number 2 in the entire state. So that's going to drop off. Did anybody see the Zillow reporting yesterday, their earnings? Zillow, the biggest, baddest, lost, I think like, I don't know, multi-millions of dollars. I think they lost, they're up, but they think they lost like $50+ million in the last quarter, right? That's Zillow. And they're basically Zillow saying, hey, it's a grind of a market. I can't believe we didn't lose more money, right? And so now all of us that are actually going, they said, yeah, but the highlights are tons of people are transacting on our platform and tons of people are still interacting with our market in terms of what we're doing. It's just, we're not seeing the profit margin, right? So now taking the same thing in you guys, all the database that you guys have worked so hard on in the last 5 years can now be your benefit today. And now, you know, you're only looking, my thing, 2 to 4 units in this, 2 to 4 units units in leads and at least 1 to 2 units that you guys cultivate yourselves. Right? And so now, and then this could be, you know, anything else that comes through. And so now you start stacking that up. Now you can get to double digits. So people that are saying, hey, I got that $3 million plus deal. Yeah, that could be 1 or 2 deals that you have in a quarter or a month. But you want to stack up those 300K to $1 million boys as much as you possibly can. Because now all of a sudden you get 4 or 5 of those going in a given month. You now have options. So what you're going to do is be like, you're going to be a little bit easier when someone says they want to cancel, right? You're going to be a little bit more calm, right? Like me, when my deal wanted to cancel when I was in Mexico, I was like, if they can't cancel, I'm staying in Mexico. I was like, I'm getting a job down here. I was like, I'll work remote, you know, because I'm like, I can't lose another one, right? But that's because I'm like, no, I can't lose my clients right now, right? Every single one is like one of my sheep. Like I need them, right? I'm the shepherd. So that's the mentality I still have today. However, it makes it a little bit easier if the other one that I did lose lost his job. I said, you're going to get we have a screaming deal. Lost his job. 2 weeks later, got a new job. I told him, I said, 2 to 3 weeks, you're getting a new job. Sean. I said, 2 to 3 weeks, you're getting another job. And I guarantee it's going to be in the same field because you're badass, right? Like you can't not work for these people. These people make money. He works for Disney. I'm like, dude, I don't care. Disney can get rid of 90% of their people. They're still going to keep you because you're that good, right? Like I know this guy's job. And so sure enough, got him a great deal. 2 or 3 weeks, lost his job, got it back. But now we already re-engaged him because I never lost contact with him. And I never was like, oh, come on. Like I was like, hey, I'm here for you. I was his biggest fan as he was going through those hard times. Because like, what am I going to do? I'm like, what do you mean you're going to do? Don't you rent a room? And he's like, yeah. I'm all, bro, chill. I'm like, man, what am I going to do? I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, I'll have my whole company, all these people went like this. And I'm like, and it's not like I can be like, well, let me take it easy for a little bit and regroup. No, I got to regroup now. Right. And so I told him my story and he's like, wow. And I'm like, yeah, feel better, you know? And then he's like, I do. Right. But that's what you hear for the client is you don't want to make everything about you. But if it directly relates to them and it helps them with their situation, now all of a sudden, like I want clients for life. Because in the last 10 to 20 years, what could I have done a better job at? Buying more investment properties, right? Instead of selling so many homes, I should have kept 1 or 2. I should have made it uncomfortable, like your buyers, right? Buy 1 or 2, rent them out. Rents are going through the roof, right? And then the last one is I could have done a better job at that group, making sure that they knew how much I cared about each and every individual client, right? And if you do that, you're going to stack more of these as we go, and then you're going to get more of these as we go as well. So it's just going to be better and better and better. Cool. So next week we'll jump right back in. We'll do a little bit more actual training, and then Tuesdays I'm going to record everything for you guys. Junior is going to be on his maternity leave for the next Yeah. So his baby's going to be born probably by the end of this week, right? Like, well, like tomorrow. It's a girl, right, Junior? I'm the worst. I went to his baby shower. I'm like, I had balloons everywhere, but he gave me carne asada and drinks, and I'm like, it was an awesome time. So yeah, girl. Yeah. So, but once he comes back, he's doing a lot of things remotely right now because we're keeping the momentum up. But once he gets back, we're going to do more of the event type stuff. But I figure everybody's so busy right now with their actual clients. We're going to be doing some more infrastructure, like really focusing on active realty, making sure that the brand is really strong with how we're coming out and hitting, making all these new, I'm talking to all the lead providers, and they're like, man, if I ever don't work here, I'm working with you because you have like the most best leads. So no one knows about it yet. Right. So no big deal. We can do what we've always done. Take it one step at a time and just stack up the wins for you guys. Okay. So lunch is here. Appreciate you guys. We'll work on it step by step, and then just know Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then plug in when you guys can on the other meetings that we have. I'm going to be posting them. Oh, another big thing is keep your guys' Slack on, because Slack is going to be, especially on weekends, it's hard for me to see who's around. Sometimes I'll call you guys if I feel like there's a good fit for one. But outside of that, or if I know that, like, you know, like I talked to Winter and she's like, dude, I sold everything. I need to re-up, like anything, right? And I'm like, okay, cool. She's hungry, right? So I already know, like, it's coming through. But if that's not the case, and like I don't know if you're in or out, we're using Slack to really be like, who's around, who wants leads, and I'm working you guys in as I get the responses, right? So the lead flow isn't the problem, it's just working you guys in, so it's like kind of fair, or as fair as possible for people that are on it. And then a lot of the updates and meetings and the things that we're learning, I'm posting in Slack as well. So like, let's say it's a meeting and it starts in an hour or two and you're not in Slack, you're just going to miss it, you know? So cool. And then we're here plugging away. Newport Beach office, we went down. We're going to be starting basically, I just don't have a lot of time right now. We're so focused on the production side that I have to just get all of the computer screens set up like we have here. We're going to be putting those little desks that go up and down and stuff, but it's like a really cool WeWork place. You can go in, and then basically that model right now, that WeWork space, there's like 75% vacancies across the board from all of Southern California. So what we're going to do is probably start expanding a little bit more with that type of a platform, just so you can meet clients in a conference room. But I don't want to have a lot of overhead. I don't want to have a lot of bills. I don't want to have things where it just makes us slow. This will be HQ, and then you guys will be able to strategically place meeting areas with anybody that you can. So if you guys ever need anything, let me know. There's probably somebody you can plug into, or we're going to be putting stuff. So like Newport Beach, you could meet there starting now. There's multiple conference rooms, coffee setups. It's off Birch and Jamboree. It's actually off Don Carmen. Yeah, it's over by Wells Fargo. Like Wells Fargo's right there.
Yep.
And then the airport is just to the south.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's right off MacArthur. So the main street is MacArthur, but it's on the Birch side. So it's you know where our old office, well, I mean, you guys know where our old office,
It's the
Irvine
same
office.
office, right?
No, our old Irvine office is about a mile away from this.
Oh.
So it's if you head down Jamboree from our old office, like away from the 405, and make a right on Birch, and you pass Von Carmen's on the left. So it's right before you hit Von. Yeah. Yeah, I have doctors down there, like all that. Yeah, it's like in that whole little, my dentist is down there. She's off on Carmen, like right up the street. So it's like a whole hub of like a lot of meeting places. And then with the airport being right there and MacArthur being right there, it's very visible as an address to any of our clients that would be in Orange County. So that's why we kept it. And then there's like a whole little wing that we have access to. They're all individual private offices. And then you can meet with clients in the big conference rooms. So like there's a reception that's already there. Say you can say you're with Active Realty, all that kind of good stuff. So you can meet clients there, have them go to the 5th floor, you go greet them, go down to the 3rd floor, meet them in the conference room, stuff like that. So it'll be really cool, but I'm going to dial it in. We have to do a few things on our side. So it just give me a little time to do that, because like I want to get you guys a bunch of leads. Cool. Okay, guys. Try to keep it short, but it was an hour. Yay. Okay. Have a good productive week and a week.